Welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be a very unique video. This is an unscripted video today. If anybody of you or anybody out there has ever been DDoSed or had somebody look up your IP address and know exactly where you live, you know how helpless or scary that can be because you really don't know who's looking you up. And I really cannot emphasize the importance of using a VPN or, any kind of anti-software to protect yourself against this. This is actually a whole lot easier to do than people realize. But I did want to put a huge disclaimer out there that if you are doing this for malicious purposes, you might think it's just a joke, to look up somebody and like tease them. But the person on the other end of the line doesn't know who you are. They don't take it as a joke. And they could be recording you. They could easily take this to the police, and you could be charged as a terrorist. And yes, I did say terrorist. Looking this stuff up for malicious purposes is a criminal act, or even a terrorist act if it was supposed to be used for something like DDoSing. So that's why I really wanted to emphasize the importance of today's video. So, well, let's get right into it, shall we? So the way this works is the person who's doing this, what they will have to do is they'll have to run the PlayStation or the Xbox through another system first, like a computer. In this case, I have, for the demonstration purposes only, I have set up my computer here I have mobile capture on. And in the bottom right hand corner, I went and clicked on the internet button, and I went and clicked on mobile hotspot. What that does is that's going to now let you or any device connect up to the computer. So once we've done that, we've set up a mobile hotspot on the computer. I now go over to my PlayStation, which I've just done here, and I now connect my internet to my mobile hotspot. So instead of connecting directly to the internet, instead what I've done is I've went ahead and I've connected to the mobile hotspot, which is the computer. So now I am running through everything through the computer. At this point, what I want to do, or what they want to do, I never recommend doing this, is going ahead and going to online, which is what I'm doing right here. Now, again, I cannot emphasize this enough that DDoSing somebody is considered to be a terrorist action. The government spends literally millions of dollars every year combating this sort of action, especially if it's taken against businesses. It can put people out of work. It can close businesses. So they have a zero tolerance policy. You might think this is just a joke doing something like this, or you're kicking some like 6-year-old kid off of GTA, but it can have some very serious and dire consequences to this. So what's happening here is I'm just joining online. You can notice I'm not playing any music or anything in the background today like I usually do, just because of the seriousness of this conversation. Now, what I am doing is I am loading onto online. I do have a $3,000 bounty on me, so once we get online here, you can see that I am on my regular character. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to go to inventory and go down to my tank, hide my tank somewhere around the corner so nobody tries to kill me. At this point, though, I am online. And I'm just going to take the tank and park it around the corner. I'm going to go back over to the computer to show you what's going on. So as you can see, I've now returned over to my computer, over on the PlayStation. I'm just sitting in my tank. And the program I've downloaded today is a program called Wireshark. Now, Wireshark here, as you can see, I've just pulled up, and I'm looking for my local area connection, something that's kind of moving around a whole lot, and I can see it right there. This one's moving a lot, so this is the one that I'm definitely using. So I'm going to double click on that, pull it up, and as you can see, now I'm seeing all the IP addresses as they go through. Now I'm going to go in the top left-hand corner and type in DPU. I think that's what I type in here. Once I do that, that's going to give me a little bit of a filter so I can narrow it down. I can then also capture this, so I'm not scrolling through and I can see all the IP addresses. Now, once I have somebody's IP, it's really easy to go ahead and search for exactly where that IP is. Now, the big thing with this is you're going to notice that a lot of people, when they're trying to troll you and they're trying to narrow it down to exactly who you are, they're going to text you first. And the reason they're texting is because you can see there's a little bit of a timestamp on this. When you text back, they're going to hit their video capture, and that's they're going to see you responding. Your text is going to get sent over to them, and that's going to then give them the information. Now, this is not the only way they can capture your IP addresses. This was just one very simple way, a free way of doing it. I have seen better programs out there. In fact, I've had better programs out there purely for the purpose of, being more informed myself, to teach myself how to defend myself against stuff like this. And so I can tell you guys how to defend yourselves. So one thing that's very, very important is probably using a VPN to protect your IP address. So if somebody does do this, they're not getting the correct IP address and they won't be able to DDoS you. The second thing is when somebody texts you something like, hey, how was it in Orlando, Florida, or how was it in Texas? Don't respond to that, because the moment you respond to that, that's when they're going to capture your information. Even if you respond with, hey, that's not my address, or you're not even close to where I live, they're still getting the IP address showing up there on that screen. And that's not really a good thing. That's not something that you want to be out there, that you don't want to share with them anyways. So yeah. I don't know if any of you guys have been out there and you have been DDoSed or this has happened to you. I'd love to hear your stories down below. If you wanted to leave something down in the comments, if you have been DDoSed, tell us your experiences. Put in a link to another video, or just, tell us what you did. Did you report this person? Were they banned from Grand Theft Auto once you reported them? Did you call Rockstar? How long was your internet down for? If you were DDoSed, were you back up right away, or were you down for like a week? I would love to hear your stories and comments down below. Once again, I'm going to throw this disclaimer out there. I know I've thrown it out there a few times before. I do not condone this. I do not recommend doing this. Doing this can be considered a terrorist action. You might think you're just, there's some 10-year-old kid annoying you on here. He's blowing you up all the time, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to kick him offline. What big deal is it? Well, by doing that, it is considered a terrorist act, and you can be charged as a terrorist, varying on where you are in the country, obviously, or at least with criminal or malicious acts. And, for something so small that you don't really think about, I don't recommend ever doing it. It has some dire consequences to it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it. This was kind of a serious conversation today, and if you did notice, or any eagle-eyed people did notice, that I did leave out a ton of information on exactly how to obtain IP addresses. I purposefully did this so nobody would watch this video and try to do it themselves. In any case, I've been me, you've been you. We'll see you on the other side.